As of recording this, it is the morning of November 21st, 2022. About 12 hours ago, everyone's world got turned upside down. Most of all, Bob Chapek's.
It's a stunning development in the business world overnight. Bob Iger is back at the top of Disney. Just 2 years after retiring from a legendary run, he replaces his own successor, Bob Chapek, after the company suffered a disappointing earnings last quarter. And that's not it. Chapek has had a rocky tenure.
This is incredible. I mean, this is an incredible story. So Bob Iger's back. The Magic Kingdom hasn't been so magic in terms of returns in the last couple of years.
No, and astonishingly, Bob Chapek was awarded a new contract just over the summer. So the change here has been rapid.
Now to some breaking business news overnight. Bob Iger announcing his return as CEO of Disney, the parent company of ABC News.
Like, I could almost hear the rejoicing happening. Isn't that wild how universally everybody is grateful for this news, if it's true?
But the first thing to say is ding dong, isn't it? Ding dong, the witch is dead. Chapek has gone.
Let's go. Bob Chapek fired. He's out. Let's freaking go.
I am in shock. I don't know. Again, I'm going to break you all the news right here. I got a whole bunch of news for you guys to talk about. But yeah, Bob Chapek is stepping down as CEO of Disney.
News, as I'm sure you have seen, broke that Bob Chapek is gone. This video was uploaded as of me recording this last night, and we have gotten quite a few updates since the news broke this morning or today or the 21st, depending on how you want to look at it. And there has been a lot of stuff circulating, a lot of news and a lot of interesting takes on Chapek leaving the Walt Disney Company. And I'm here to discuss why this happened, how it happened, and what the path forward for the Walt Disney Company, and I'm focusing mainly on the Disney parks because this is a Disney parks centric channel, where we go from here. You ask a lot of people what they're going to be thankful for this year for Thanksgiving, and I have a feeling I know what 99% of them are going to say. Now let's get something out of the way right now, okay? Let's just acknowledge it. Bob Chapek did not leave the Disney Company amicably. Amicably. Chapek didn't step down, okay? He didn't just leave, he didn't exit the company, he was fired, okay? And more importantly, more surprisingly, Christine McCarthy, the chief financial officer of Disney, was the one who led this charge. You know, back in the day, back in my day with Michael Eisner, Roy Disney, that would be my producer. Yes, this is my boss. He's my producer. He's in charge of everything. He likes to yell at me if I'm recording too long. Roy E. Disney led the Save Disney campaign to get Eisner out of the CEO office back in the 2000s, and now it seems like the call is once again coming from inside the house. Now, Christine McCarthy isn't exactly a Walt Disney-like figure herself, okay? She did get Chapek out, but she was also famous for going on record on a conference call saying that maybe we should reduce the portions at the Disney parks, the food portions. That way we can reduce costs and maybe reduce the guests' waistlines as a result. Now, Christine, let me tell you, okay, I'm not known for being the most muscular Disney YouTuber there is, okay? I'm not known for being beefy and strong, but if you reduce the size of the mint juleps, you and I are gonna have a problem. So just keep that in mind. But it seems like a very sudden shift from them extending his contract to firing him without him even knowing before we did in the course of like 6 months. It was reported by the Financial Times that the campaign to overthrow Chapek began in the summer. Apparently, multiple executives from all over the Disney company approached the board of directors with problems, mainly one that Chapek did not know how to run the company. So remember at D23, at the Disney Legends ceremony when Bob Chapek was introduced and he got either light applause or booing?
To the Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company, y'all know who I'm talking about, Mr. Bob Chapek!
Yeah, apparently a lot of the higher-ups at Disney felt the exact same way. So here's the interesting part. This is from Blog Mickey quoting a CNBC report saying that, quote, Chapek was caught off guard by the news that he would be removed as Disney's CEO, but the Financial Times report says that Chapek was aware of moves against him for weeks, but was caught off guard by the speed of the events. So just imagine you're Chapek sitting inside your $12.5 million Westlake Village estate. That's what this article calls it. It's Sunday night. You're enjoying Disenchanted. I'm sure Chapek watched Disenchanted, and suddenly news breaks that Chapek is out as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, and Bob Iger is back in. You stroke your beard, extremely confused because you knew that they were trying to get you out, but now you are out, and they didn't even tell you. What do? Well, you take your exit package from the company worth more than $20 million, wipe your tears with a couple $1,000 bills, those exist out there somewhere I'm sure, and pivot your skills to becoming the CEO of a new company like, I don't know, Target or Old Navy or something. Maybe not something so creatively driven like Disney. So apparently the company had just reached out to Iger on Friday, so that just makes me wonder in my head, what happened on Friday that just had the Disney board and all the executives go, okay, enough! Enough already! Get this guy out of here! We need Iger back right now. And then just not tell him about any of this until he was fired on Sunday when we all found out. That's very interesting to me. Okay, so Chapek is gone. He's got a nice house. He's got an exit package. He's gonna be fine. Iger is back. Now this raises a bunch of questions for a lot of people, I am assuming, because what's going to change? What's going to happen? How is the Disney company and the parks and the movies going to change now that Iger is back in charge? That's a really good question. Either nothing is going to change or some things are going to change, right? There's actually a little rumor, a little conspiracy theory floating around the internet that Bob Chapek actually did his job exactly how Disney wanted him to, and he made no mistakes, and everything is going according to plan. You see, this theory is that Bob Chapek was sort of a fall guy for the Walt Disney Company. He was going to institute changes, I guess mostly to the parks, that were not going to be popular with guests. He was the one who implemented Genie Plus. He was the one who went with the reservation system and budget cuts. And getting rid of the Magical Express, I still miss it. I need it. I want the magical bus ride. Please, Iger, if you're gonna do anything, bring back the Magical Express. And now that Chapek is out, he did all of the bad things, Iger can come in and just sort of right the ship a little bit, maybe do something to the reservation system. He doesn't get rid of Genie Plus, but instead of $20 a day, you get one free Lightning Lane a day, and then you have to pay for the $20 after that. Or releasing a brand new tier of Magic Key or Annual Pass that's $4,000 that you don't have to make reservations for. People will, I think people will rejoice. I mean, yeah, the problem's not fixed, but now you don't need a reservation for this $4,000 annual pass. And look, now I can go on Haunted Mansion Holiday without having to wait 180 minutes in line for free. And then maybe after that, I'll drop another $20 to go on Haunted Mansion Holiday again and then get some other rides thrown in there. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen or what happened. I am saying, though, that it's a possibility. But then you have the flip side of that coin. Bob Iger comes in and completely undoes everything Chapek did. The reservation system is now gone. Genie Plus is gone. Lightning Lane is gone. It is now, once again, Fast Pass, and it's free. You don't even have to do anything new. You don't have to improve what was there before. You just make Disney the way it was in like 2018, and in the words of Dave from Fresh Baked, they will erect a statue of you in the Esplanade. Bob Iger returns Disney to its glory days. Will Iger make Disney magic again? Or MDMA? Probably not. Actually, probably should not go with that one. Now, before I get into the boring stuff, why don't we talk about some of the fun stuff? What are some things I would like to see Bob Iger do to the parks, most importantly, of course, because the parks are important to me? What changes would I like to be made? And first and foremost, I don't think we're going to see Genie Plus or paid Lightning Lane go away anytime soon. That is a new source of revenue for Disney, and I don't think they're going to shut that down. They're making money in a place where they weren't before. And for Disney, as a, massive media conglomerate, that's important. While it won't go away completely, I do think we're going to see something happen with Genie Plus, some sort of shakeup, whether that be, like I mentioned earlier, you get one free Lightning Lane pass for whatever ride you want, minus, I guess, the individual Lightning Lanes for your visit that day. Or something that I actually do strongly expect to see changed with Genie Plus is the ability to add it on to your annual pass or Magic Key, the same way you could with Max Pass at Disneyland a couple years ago. You're able to add Max Pass onto your annual pass to use for the duration of your pass every day you go for about like $100 to $150. It varied. The prices went up over time, but I believe it was $100 and you got Max Pass added onto your annual pass. And I did that for every renewal that I could when it was offered. Okay, it was such a good deal. Now I think if they were to do the same thing with Genie Plus and the Magic Key / Disney World annual pass, it would be more than $100. I mean, come on, Genie Plus on an average day costs around $20. That's 5 visits to break even to get your value out of the Genie Plus bundle. And I think it'll be something more like $200 or $300 because, you know, Genie Plus is more expensive as opposed to free, but I do think it's a real possibility that that bundling will happen. Now, there's one thing that a lot of guests and cast members alike have noticed in the parks in the recent years that they would like fixed. No, it's not the reservation system. Well, actually, yeah, it kind of is the reservation system, but also maintenance on attractions. There are a lot of issues with sort of usually the bigger e-ticket attractions at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World recently. Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, the Tower of Terror. It's gotten so bad in the recent year that the Wall Street Journal had to put out an article titled Disney Parks Ride Stoppages and Wait Times Grow as Ticket Prices Rise. And if that doesn't encapsulate the Chapek era, I don't know what does. Okay, no joke, this is unscripted, which is why I'm just talking without a microphone right now. I opened up the Disneyland app just to see what was going on in there, and let's see if I can make it out here. As if to prove my point, okay, Indiana Jones, yes, is temporarily closed. Is it not always? Like, come on. Open up. Rise is open, though, so that's good. That's an improvement. You know, Rise is usually closed. Space Mountain's open. Disneyland, as far as I know, is having a real good day today. What's this? Dumbo's closed? No! And so I hope you see the issue. Ticket prices aren't going anywhere, so if we're gonna have something change, have that be maintenance, but also you sort of going hand in hand with maintenance. Let's talk about the people who really matter here, all right? The people who make the magic for me and you. The people responsible for making the Disney parks what they are. The YouTubers. No, the cast members. Let's talk about the cast members. It goes without saying that these people have been through so much the past couple of years and been subjected to some of the worst guest behavior over the past 2 years that the least we can do is say thank you and make their jobs just a bit easier. Listen to them. You know, if they tell you to walk a certain direction down a pathway because there may or may not be the Disneyland band coming down Main Street, just listen to them. And if you think a cast member has gone above and beyond to make your Disney trip or your ride experience or a dining experience better than it has ever been, give them a cast compliment. That's what we can do as patrons of the parks to help these cast members out. And by cast members, I mean cast members. The simple answer would be to pay these cast members more, and I honestly think they deserve it. I think a lot of us think they deserve it. They put up with a lot. And aside from like putting up with stuff in quotation marks, they also just do their best every day to make everyone's visit as great as it can possibly be. And aside from paying them more, which does need to happen, also just make the environment a little bit more welcoming, easy for them. I mean, recently I heard there was a policy change about no-shows or absentee days at the Disneyland Resort being changed. I don't know exactly the intricacies of that situation, but apparently it was very unpopular with the cast members. It wasn't broken, they didn't need to fix it. I've talked to a couple cast member friends of mine, and a lot of them can confirm that they are happy about Iger returning. They just feel like he understands them more than Chapek does. Chapek felt very disconnected, very uncaring. Iger definitely, he's a businessman, you know, the same way Chapek was, but he definitely has more of a sense of respect for the lower level workers and for the creatives. Or so I'm told. And also, while I was recording this, you see, that's why we're doing this over the course of the week after the news breaks. We get more and more info. Iger announced that he would host an employee town hall on Monday, November 28th at 12 p.m. to discuss the future of the company and answer questions as we build on Disney's legacy of creativity, innovation, and inspiration. Now, I don't know who exactly is invited to that employee town hall. I don't know if that's going to be, you know, some cast members from Walt Disney World and Disneyland here and there, you know, some creative executives, third shift workers, the people who scrub the submarines, or like TV storyboard artists, or if it's just going to be executives. Obviously, the first one would be a little better because you would get some of everybody's opinion thrown into the mix there. But I'm a very simple man, all right? If you treat your employees well, they will respect your company, and they will respect you, and they'll want to do better, and it reflects on the guest experience as well. So if we treat these cast members, both the executives and us, the guests, better, and as we would want to be treated, then maybe, you know, maybe we'll all just have a better time at the parks. also People Mover. And now I'm kind of getting into rumor territory. This actually broke today. This is Thanksgiving as of me recording this. See, time passes. Remember the good old days when it was Monday? Me too. Anyway, here is an offhand rumor. So while I was watching the Thanksgiving Day parade this morning trying to hatch myself a shiny foy cocoa, WDW Magic put out this article titled Major Overhaul of Disney Park Pass Reservations and Park Hopping Coming to Walt Disney World in the New Year. Okay, you have my attention. So this change, or rumored change, won't really affect me as an annual pass holder. It's more so aimed at the people buying day-to-day tickets. But apparently, if you buy just a regular, 1, 2, 3, 7, 27-day ticket, you can park hop whenever you want starting in the new year, and you don't have to make a reservation. Because you already buy those days when you go to purchase your ticket, it will just automatically make you a sort of reservation when you purchase the ticket. It won't be like it is now where you have to buy a certain amount of days and then you have to go in and make your reservations. It'll just do it for you all at once. Meanwhile, us annual pass holders will be sitting over here making our reservations park hopping at 2 p.m. like a bunch of losers. But if there is any validity to this rumor, that may mean that Iger, or the new leadership of the parks, is slowly walking back the systems that were put in place post-COVID. And it'll be interesting to see if this rumor has any truth to it come 2023, or maybe even if they remove the reservation system and park hopping time completely for annual pass holders as well. I would appreciate it. Mainly with the park hopping. Okay, I have to fly anyway, so I do have to make a reservation at the same time I buy my plane ticket. But park hopping, I don't want to have to wait until 2. I want to park hop at 9 a.m. I think that's about it, although I did want to leave you all with something to just sort of chew on in the meantime while we wait for more news to break. How much of what's going on in the parks today do we pin on Bob Chapek, and how much do we pin on Josh D'Amaro, the head of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts? I'll be the first to admit, Josh D'Amaro is a charming, handsome guy who seems to truly love Disney the same way that we all do. But things like Genie Plus and the reservation system and taking away the Magical Express were put into place when he was head of parks. How much of that is up to him, and how much was up to Chapek? I genuinely don't know, because they both moved through the ranks at the same time, sort of like a restructuring, a reshuffling of leadership at Disney when Iger left originally. I think if we keep our eyes open, if we look and see what happens to the parks over the next year or 2 years with Iger in charge now, if things get better, that means the CEO has more say in the parks than the head of parks, obviously. And that Josh D'Amaro was just begrudgingly doing what Chapek told him to do. If things stay the same, then, my friends, I think it's time to start pointing some of the blame toward old Joshy D. But again, I think that's a time will tell thing. We're gonna have to sit on that one. We're gonna have to wait unless D'Amaro gets fired. Apparently there's a rumor going around that one of the top 3 executives at the Disney company, aside from Kevin Feige, is gonna be let go, released back into the wild where all business executives come from. Is it like Stanford or something? Shout out to all my Stanford viewers. If you were unaware, Kareem Daniel is also out. He was fired right after Chapek was fired. He was sort of Chapek's alleged right-hand man within the company. He's also gone. There may be some more firings to come. And those potential firings are D'Amaro, Kathleen Kennedy over at Lucasfilm, and Pete Docter over at Pixar. Now, how high is the likelihood of all 3 of these people being fired? I don't know, probably 0%, but how high is the likelihood of one of these people being fired? I don't know, it might be a bit higher. I don't know, I think we just gotta keep our eyes open over the next year and see if things change or get better. And if they do, Iger, well, you have my respect. Also, maybe it's potentially time to revisit that whole not reopening the People Mover thing at Disneyland. That happened under Bob Chapek. Maybe it's possible. Maybe Iger could bring it back. Maybe just take a look. Just promise me you'll take a look. I'm not desperate or anything, but if you could fix it, that'd be great. But that's a sort of quick roundup of what we know so far. Again, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on Chapek leaving, Iger being back in the driver's seat, and what do you expect to happen over the next 2 years of Iger's temporary CEOism position? I want to know from you in the comments down below, and I also want a People Mover at Disneyland. Have I made that clear over the past year or so? Now I'm off. It is currently 11:01 a.m. on the morning of November 24th, so I need to go prepare some sort of food in some way. And by the time you see this video, potentially it's Black Friday or the day after Black Friday. So what are you thankful for? I guess is a good question to end this video off on. Okay, and now it's time for the end card. Hello everybody and welcome to the end card for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is very much a developing news story and it will be over the course of the next couple of years. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye on this space, okay? The DizNews moniker will be under heavy use these next couple of years. Let's just say that. The names that you see scrolling on the left-hand side of your screen are all of my supporters over at patreon.com/offhanddisney. They got access to this video a day earlier than the rest of you. I believe they got access to it on Thanksgiving. Today should be Black Friday if everything goes according to plan. They are the ones who help keep this channel going, and I have to extend a very special thank you to them. I am thankful for you on this Thanksgiving Day, all of my supporters over at patreon.com. Again, even just $1 will get you access to most of the perks. Also, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed this video, me talking about Chapek and Iger and my thoughts on the transition, and be sure to subscribe if you want more news videos like this one. And of course, be sure to follow me over at my social media accounts that are over somewhere out there in the ethers. It's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I am at OffhandDisney on all of those different places. Twitter, we'll see what happens. And also be sure to tune into my podcast, Foolish Mortals with Disney Dan. I believe we are going to have that. If you're watching this video on the day I uploaded it, today, maybe, potentially. Either that or we're going to spend time with our families, one or the other. We'll see. We'll see. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, wherever or whenever that video may take us. Goodbye.